Inside the courtrooms, teenagers were sentenced who held weapons in their hands and lost their innocence. Before classes started, Chardon High School was open in the morning. Many students were in the cafeteria. Some were getting breakfast, and others were waiting for a bus to attend Auburn Career Center or Lake Academy classes. Then, a boy stood in the cafeteria and started shooting around 7:30 a.m.
You're really lucky there's so many police in this room right now.
The security camera footage showed a person whose name was Thomas T.J. Lane using a handgun to shoot 4 boys sitting together at a table in the school cafeteria. After that, he left the school and shot a girl. A teacher named Joseph Ricci and a football coach named Frank Hall chased him out of the school. Lane was then arrested by the police near his parked car on Wooden Road.
You chased him down the hall and fired the last bullet that paralyzed him. Why? Why did you do it?
5 students had to go to the hospital. Unfortunately, 3 of them died from their injuries within 2 days. The seriously injured students, Daniel Parmerter, Russell King, and Demetrius Hewlin, were taken by helicopter to Metro Health Medical Center in Cleveland, which was about 31 miles away. Joy Rickers and Nick Walzak were taken to Hillcrest Hospital nearby. Another student, Nate Mueller, also got injured by a bullet in his right ear. During their investigation, the police searched the home of Lane's grandparents, Jack Nolan and his wife, in Chardon Township. Although Lane didn't live there, he frequently visited on weekends. The police also searched other properties owned by Lane's family on the day of the shooting. They looked through a nearby forest, where neighbors claimed that Lane and his siblings practiced shooting targets. At the time of the shooting, Lane attended classes as a sophomore at Lake Academy, a different kind of school in Willoughby nearby. According to students, Lane had a personal problem with King, one of the students he shot. Other students claimed that Lane seemed to be aiming specifically at King that morning, making him the first target at their table. These students mentioned that King had threatened to fight Lane before, so Lane had started weightlifting to prepare for it. On February 26, 2013, Lane admitted he was guilty of the charges against him. Then, on March 19, 2013, he received 3 life sentences in a row without the possibility of parole. And that's not all. When Lane entered the courtroom for his sentencing, he removed his dress shirt to reveal a white t-shirt with the word "killer" handwritten on it. Throughout the hearing, he smiled and smirked. On the contrary, at 7:38 p.m. on September 11, 2014, Lane made his escape from the Allen Correctional Institution in Lima, Ohio, alongside 2 older inmates. They built a ladder and used it to climb over a fence while they were outside. One of the older inmates, Lindsay Bruce, was caught soon after. Lane and the other inmate, Clifford Operund, were still out there and not caught. The police searched for them in a wooded area and a neighborhood near the prison. At 1:20 a.m. the next day, they caught Lane near the woods. They caught Operund about 3 hours later. Another heart-wrenching tragedy unfolded at Freeman High School on September 13, 2017. A 15-year-old student named Caleb Sharp brought 2 guns to school, an AR-15 rifle and a Colt 1903 pistol. He used these guns to shoot and kill a student who tried to stop him from hurting others. 3 more students got hurt and had to go to the hospital.
It's shocking in its scope that a child in this day and age who was really crying out for help was allowed to carry out such a heinous crime.
Before his trial as an adult, Sharp admitted he was guilty. When he was 20 years old, earlier this year, he admitted guilt to aggravated murder, 3 counts of aggravated murder, and 1 assault charge. In 2022, Sharp was sentenced to 40 years to life in jail with additional lifetime monitoring. However, the Washington State Court of Appeals argued that Sharp's prison term was too lengthy and required him to be resentenced.
I'm sorry to this entire community. I'm sorry to every single person I forced PTSD upon.
Sharp also raised several concerns about his sentence. He cited a Washington state law stating that individuals who commit a crime at the age of 16 or younger should receive a specific sentence of 25 years to life. Additionally, he pointed out another law indicating that extra penalties for firearm use do not apply to individuals who commit the most severe type of murder when they are under 16. Moreover, Sharp argued that his 40-year sentence violated the Constitution because it essentially amounted to a life sentence. Before we move further, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. He chose to carry out the shooting on Valentine's Day. Yes, you heard correctly, on Valentine's Day. It's hard to believe, isn't it? He felt a profound sense of loneliness, convinced that nobody cared about him, and tragically, he unleashed gunfire in the school on that very day. Nicholas Cruz was an American perpetrator of the Parkland High School shooting. On February 14, 2018, he committed this act, resulting in the deaths of 17 individuals and injuring another 17. Cruz received a life sentence without the chance of parole for his role in the tragic events, marking it as the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history. Cruz had a tumultuous upbringing. After his birth, he was placed in an orphanage before being adopted by Roger and Linda Cruz. Unfortunately, both adoptive parents passed away, leaving Cruz orphaned just 3 months before the shooting incident.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day.
After his mother's death, he resided with relatives and friends. From his early years in preschool, Cruz struggled with behavioral challenges. Dr. Stephen E. Moskovitz diagnosed him with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, and oppositional defiant disorder, or ODD. Cruz underwent multiple school transfers, totaling 6 within 3 years, as educators attempted to address his difficulties. In 2014, he was placed in a school catering to children with emotional or learning disabilities. Additionally, there were reports of Cruz making threats against fellow students, reflecting the complexities of his situation. After 2 years, Cruz returned to Stoneman Douglas High School, but was expelled in 2017 for misbehaving. Although he couldn't be removed from the Broward County school system, he was transferred to a different school. The school also sent emails to teachers, informing them that Cruz had threatened other students.
My thinking is if I do go on school campus, the police are not going to do anything, and I have a small opportunity to shoot people for maybe 20 minutes.
In February 2017, Cruz bought an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle from a gun store in Coral Springs. He passed the background check needed to purchase it. Prior to this, he had acquired other firearms, including a shotgun and several rifles. At that time, Florida law allowed people as young as 18 to buy guns from licensed dealers, including rifles. However, the minimum age for purchasing guns has since been raised. And the most horrific part was many signs indicated Cruz was about to do something horrendous. Sheriff Scott Israel mentioned that his office received 23 calls about Cruz over the past 10 years. CNN obtained records showing at least 45 calls about Cruz, his brother, or their home from 2008 to 2017. For instance, on February 5th, 2016, someone anonymously reported that Cruz had threatened to shoot up the school. On November 30th, 2017, there was a tip suggesting he might become a school shooter because he collected knives and guns. And that concludes our video. These cases remind us of the devastating impact of school shootings and the importance of vigilance and prevention. Stay informed and stay safe.